Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Can you guess what the title of the video is referring to? It's a tandem problem. It's a combination. I guess it goes hand in hand. Can you guess what it is? If I had to put my finger on it, if I had to guess what the number one problem or issue in most people's lives is, the stress that is predominant in most people's day-to-day, including myself, even though I have made improvements in this area, but I still struggle with it. Can you guess what it is? It's money and work-related issues. Money makes the world go round, unfortunately. And unless you're going to go live off-grid and not, depend on money too much or at all, not have a house or, be completely away from quote-unquote modern society, money is going to have a huge impact on your life, whether you like it or not, right? It's a sad reality of life. The Bible states that money is the root cause of all evil. Not to say that money itself is an evil thing, but the way that it's used, the way that it is used to control people's lives and everyday livelihood, people putting it on a pedestal and idolizing it, right? That's the problem. Thinking that it's the end-all be-all when it's really not. Obviously, if you have it, it's going to make your life a lot easier. And like I said, it goes hand in hand usually with the type of work that you have. If you have a great career, if you have a great job that pays well, but you absolutely hate your job or being in a situation like that, right? I personally wouldn't want to be in a situation like that. I'd rather have something that pays a little less, but I absolutely love. But I think overall, it's just finding a balance between the two, right? Having a job that you tolerate for the most part and that you make, more than enough money to suit your lifestyle, which brings me to another problem that a lot of people get into, right? They upgrade their lifestyle too quickly or, very quick or at a drop of a hat when they start seeing their income increase. Don't fall into that trap unless you can afford it. I mean, at the end of the day, you make your own decisions, but that's a common trap that I see a lot of people get into, right? They start making a little bit of money and they upgrade their lifestyle. They get into credit card debt. They get a new car payment. They get a new car. They move out of this, or moving out into something that costs a little more. They get a house, right? Whatever the case may be. But like I said, I don't think it makes much sense, at least in my perspective, to have a 9-to-5 that you absolutely hate, and no matter what the bill or what the paycheck at the end of the month looks like, work is going to take up a huge chunk of your time. So it only makes sense, at least to me, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, to find work that is meaningful to you and you find some sort of enjoyment to, right? If you can find a job, a career that you really, really enjoy and that you find very little fault in, then you're winning in life, right? But for the most part, if you can find something, like I said, that, you don't dread going to work in the morning, that you find some fulfillment in, that it's meaningful to you. Obviously, not all aspects of a job are going to be, to your liking. There are some things that are going to be a drag to deal with. But at least from my perspective, the key is to find something that you enjoy for the most part. And the money, at least, is secondary. Money, honestly, if you're smart with it, if you are managing it correctly, if you just spend money that you actually need to spend and not spend it, frivolously, or, without thinking, can actually go a long way. Obviously everybody's situation is different. If you have a family, it's different. But if you're single, right, you don't have a relationship, you're living alone, the costs of, the things you actually need, if you, get down to it, it's not a lot. So just figure out what that number is for you and try to, exceed it by whatever X amount of dollars you you want that amount to be, right? Obviously, you want to have a little surplus at the end of each month to have something in reserve in case things go south. You want to have some money to put into something that will give you returns, right? Investing, whatever shape or form that may be, whether it be real estate or crypto or the stock market or into physical, tangible products that you can resell, whatever the case may be, right? There's so many options out there, so I'm not going to go into super into detail as to what you should do, but it doesn't really take a lot of money to start investing into something, whether it be $50 or $100 at the end of the month. That can go a long way, right? So if you hate your job, if you don't like your career, realize that you're not stuck. You are only stuck if you feel like you're stuck, if you tell yourself that you're stuck. That's another thing I see a lot of people falling into, not being real with themselves, right? Lying to themselves and justifying or rationalizing their situation. I get it. Times are tough. Everybody's situation is different. But if you believe that there's a way out, there's always a way out. I'm sure you've probably heard this one. Where there's a will, there's a way. So if you tell yourself that you're stuck, then you're stuck. If you tell yourself you're not stuck and that there's going to be a way out of it, then there's going to be a way out of it, right? So your own mental chatter, your own, voice inside your head, the things you tell yourself has a huge impact on you. So realize that there's always a way out if you make one, right? So if you don't like your career, pivot and move into something else, right? Try things. Try something that, you really want to do. Find something that you like to do from day to day, or that at least you enjoy, like I said. And again, with the whole money issue, just start being more aware of where your money is going. Track your expenses and have your expenses and the amount that you're generating let there be a huge gap in between, right? You want your income to be a lot bigger than the money that you're actually spending. And save up a little bit each month to have as a reserve in case things go south, right? It's always good to have that cushion. It'll give you breathing room. And invest your money as to have your money work for you at the end of the month. I'm sure you've read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and if you haven't, I highly recommend it. That's one of the principles that's stated in that book. Even though there is a lot of stuff that you may not agree with, I highly recommend it. One of the things the author said, Robert Kiyosaki, is that, the rich, the people that, have their financial situation under control, usually have their money working for them, right? They don't depend on going to, a physical location or a job, to generate their income. They have things on the side, usually on top of the job that they have that are generating money for them at the end of each month, whether it be selling stuff on the internet, real estate, again, investing in the stock market, you fill in the blank. There's a lot of ways to make money on the side like that. So hopefully something that I mentioned in this video is of use to you. Hopefully something of value. You find something of value here. So those are just my 2 cents, regarding this topic. It's kind of a weird thing to see, as I get older. More and more, I realize that this is a very, very common problem, right? Just people being stuck in a 9-to-5 kind of rat race, right, as they call it. Not enjoying the work that they do, all working for just a paycheck that isn't enough at the end of each month, right? So many people are struggling with money. And it's such a common thing, right? Because we're not taught about money in school. And it's for a reason, right? All of these things go hand in hand together. The people that set up this whole thing, that are in charge of this whole thing, right? That, created the system that you and I live in. It's all by design, right? It didn't just appear out of nowhere one day suddenly, right? Now, all of this stuff has been thought out, right? So there's a reason we weren't taught about how money works or what money really is at the end of the day in school, right? They wanted to keep us ignorant and basically keep us as debt slaves, right? Just working for the dollar, but it's never enough, right? It's usually never enough if you follow the quote unquote traditional way of doing things. Of course, there's always exceptions, but, for the most part, the vast majority of people are not gonna, make it, so to speak, following the traditional way of things. So think outside the box, right? Don't don't be a sheep just following everything that you see and hear. Do your own thinking, and there's nothing wrong with being a so-called weird guy or girl, right? A weird as in everybody else calls you weird for thinking differently. Do your own thinking at the end of the day, and do your own research at the end of the day, right? That's a very important thing, just using your own brain at the end of the day. So if you made it this far, like I said, hopefully something that I mentioned is of value to you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I just try to give, my 2 cents on a variety of topics, whether it be something, related to life advice, finances, self-improvement, whatever it may be, just anything that fascinates me in general, right? Try to give my opinion on it, try to give my take on it, and hopefully, it provides value for you guys. Thank you to all the viewers and subscribers of this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and let me know your thoughts. Any video suggestions or anything of the sort related to the video or anything in general. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later.